What's up guys, Ricky Glaser here. Today I'm gonna bring you something a little bit different. On Instagram, it's pretty common people say to me, hey, I wanna get into skateboarding but my parents don't like it, or I don't have any way to get a skateboard because my parents are not approving of skateboarding. It's kind of an interesting topic. This is the video, I got your back. So go and get your parents now and then we are gonna have a little bit of a discussion. Okay, so skateboarding, it has lots of positives, right? I'm not even gonna waste your time with all the boring positives that are all for all sports. Oh, they get outside, they're away from the computer, they're making friends, they're having fun, they're active, they're getting coordination. I'm not gonna waste your time with any of those things because you already know all those things. I'm gonna tell you all the positives that you don't actually know about skateboarding and that you can only gain from someone in skateboarding telling you about them. The first one is commitment, dedication, and discipline. Skateboarding, it has kind of a high barrier to entry, even to just do the most basic things. Even rolling around, you gotta build up your skills. And then the most basic tricks, the most basic ollies, it does take a lot of time to build those skills. So because skateboarding is actually so hard, it does create this kind of cool situation. Typically the situation goes something like this. A young kid will see a skateboarder do a kickflip, 360 flip, and they'll be like, whoa, like that's magic. Like what even happened there? Like what is that? I don't know what that is, but I know that I want to do that and I'm gonna do that. And then they get a skateboard, they start learning about skateboarding, they start practicing, they start trying, and they see, damn, that was actually really, really hard. Like it's gonna take me a long time to do that. And then they build on their skills, they keep skating, keep pushing themselves. And then eventually they get to this point where they do this trick. Let's say a kickflip, for example. Most people don't do kickflip for months, even maybe a year or more. And a 360 flip as well. It's a trick that every skateboarder can do basically. But it will take you at least like a year, 2 years before you can really do it. So they've seen this trick and then they've started. And then now over time, they're like, one day I'm gonna do it. One day I'm gonna do it. I'm getting better every time. One day I'm gonna do it. And then they're building, and then they finally do it. How they feel and like the lessons that they've learned from that, it's kind of hard to teach a child something like this, really. Like you showing them if they put in hard work, consistently for months, for years, they can achieve something. Other sports, they don't really like as directly as this in skateboarding can convey that. And I think that's really powerful. And the child can feel this and be like, damn, like I did it. Like I set out to do it and I did it. And like that's so powerful that they have that confidence, because if they take that into other aspects of their life, they can literally do anything. All right, the second one is creativity, individuality, and freedom. Now, I'm gonna start comparing skateboarding to other sports because I think this is a good way for me to get my point across. So your child starts basketball or baseball, for example. They start practicing, they're getting a bit better. You say to them, if you practice, you can become really good. And then they say, yeah, like I'm in this league, maybe I can get to this league. And maybe from that league, I can get to that league. The progression is very linear and very laid out. They say, if I get good, I will become this. But what's cool about skateboarding is they don't even know what they can do. They don't know what they're capable of, because there's so many different possibilities that you can't even explain to them. If you're good, you will be able to throw the ball this hard, run this fast, hit like this. Things like that don't really apply, because if they build on these skills, you will take them to a new place and they'll be like, oh, I could do this. Take them to another place. Oh, I could do this. They keep building on these skills and keep pushing themselves. They can do so many different things that they never thought they were gonna do. And they can get inspired in so many different ways and skate in so many different ways that there's no restrictions or rules. And the best thing as well is that there's no organization. They can just go with a piece of concrete and start skating. There's so many different kinds of skating and there's no right or wrong way to do it. So there's so much possibility and potential for creativity. The third one, acceptance, open-mindedness. Skateboarding is one of these unique situations where it doesn't really matter about your background, doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter about your age even, is that you're all just sharing this one thing of skateboarding. You're not actually worried about any of those other things. So if you go to the skate park right now, you'll see an interesting mix. You'll see these young kids, you see these teenagers, you'll see these mid-20s, and you'll see even these 40+ people. And they're all just there sharing the skate park and they all have this mutual respect for each other. Whereas in other sports, like you won't really see this kind of diversity. You know, if you take your child to baseball, there's the children in the team, there's the coach, there's the parents, there's the spectators. It's very divided and everyone knows their place. Whereas in skateboarding, you're all just skating together. The 10-year-old kid can teach the 40-year-old kid a new trick. Everyone is equal. It's quite a unique thing to see in this sport where there's so much diversity and everyone is just getting along. So you're probably thinking like, hey, this guy, like he actually has made a couple of good points, but we live in the real world. Here are the facts. This is why I can't do it. Number one, it's dangerous. I don't want to put my kid in danger. Of course, absolutely. See, the thing is, skateboarding is dangerous for sure. If you skateboard, you will get injured. Definitely. Like, you will sprain your ankle, probably break your wrist, always get bruised, grazes, those kinds of things. Yes, that will happen. But the thing is skateboarders, they don't really suffer serious injuries that often. It is more these minor injuries. So in the scheme of things, it's not actually that dangerous. The main way that people get seriously hurt is they collide with a car when they're on the road. Stay off the roads, stay safe, skate in a safe place, and you know, it's not gonna be that dangerous. The next one, it's expensive. I don't have all this money for skateboards. You keep having to buy them. They're ripping up their shoes. I can't afford this. That's fair enough. And sometimes, yeah, like there's nothing you can do. But in the scheme of things, a skateboard does last quite a long time, especially if you're a beginner. It will last a very long time. And you don't have to pay any membership fees. You don't have to pay any coaches. You don't have to do any of this other stuff. You just need to buy them a skateboard and then push them out onto the concrete and they're good to go. If you can't afford a skateboard, here are some things that you could do. If you do know any skateboarders in your local area, reach out to them and say, hey, do you have an old skateboard that I can buy for cheap, for $20 or something? And most of the time they will have one. If you don't have any connection to skateboarding, go to the local skate shop, ask the same. Do you have any old skateboards I could buy? I want my child to start. I don't have that much money to spend. And they usually will have some options to help you out. If that fails as well, literally just go to the skate park and just watch the skate park for a bit, see if someone seems like a nice person, and just say, hey, do you have any old skateboards for my child? I want to start skating, but I can't afford it. And I guarantee you, so often the skater will say, oh, like, yeah, I actually do. Oh, my friend does. I don't live too far from this skate park. You know, we can work it out. If you actually try that, it will work such a high percentage of the time, because other skaters, they want people to start skating. They relate to the child that wants to start skating and they want to share skateboarding with them. And most people that have been skating for a long time, they do have spare skateboards, so they would way rather give it to a kid than just keep it for no reason. So try that. Believe it or not, it actually will work. Skateboarders do like to share with each other. And the last one, oh, skateboarders are troublemakers, delinquents, I don't want my son running with the bad crowd, blah, blah, blah. Skate parks attract all these negative things. Now, all the people that say that in general, they just don't have an understanding of the situation, really. Like, they're just saying words that they think is the perception of the world, but they don't have any evidence to back that up. But what I'll say in my 20 years of skateboarding and going skateboarding in the streets and growing up skateboarding is that, you know, when you're sort of 14, 15, up until 18, 20, you're in this kind of impressionable age. Who you hang out with and what you get up to is a sort of a big determining factor in your development, right? But when you have skateboarding, you always have this thing to focus on. So you go and you meet up with your friends and you say, where are we gonna skate today? What are we gonna skate today? What are we gonna do? There's always this focus of, we are skateboarders, we are going skateboarding. We have this thing to do. We wanna skate, we wanna film skating, we wanna do this. Other people that age, if they don't have a hobby or they only can do it at certain times, they find themselves, they don't have anything to do. They wanna meet up with their friends, they wanna hang out, but they're bored. And like, that's when you'll find that they start causing trouble. That's when you find that they start doing drugs or whatever, is like when they have nothing to do. But when they're skateboarding and they have this focus of skateboarding, that tends to keep them out of trouble, honestly. Growing up myself as a skateboarder, I know when me and my peers started turning 18 is when you would see they would drift away from skateboarding and then they would start getting into these other things. The ones that stayed focused on skateboarding, everything went very well for them. So yeah, those are my points, and you know, I just want you to know that not all skateboarders are bad. Most of them are just reasonable members of society that have found this cool thing and they've enjoyed this cool thing that a lot of people misunderstand. Hopefully I've made some good points, or at least gave you something to think about. And you know, if your child is really passionate about skateboarding, isn't that worth exploring? But yeah, I gotta have the skaters back here because, you know, I've been skating for 20 years since I was a little kid and I know what it's like. So I just thought I'd offer some perspective. That's it from me, guys. If you want to see more about me, you can look at my Instagram or my other social medias. But yeah, peace out and I'll see you next time.